Look, if you want to know more about real estate investing, making a lot of money, and learning from one of the biggest OGs in the business, you're going to want to watch this video all the way to the end. All right, so I'm here with my boy Austin Zabak, one of the most successful young real estate investors in the country, and I thought now is a good time as any to ask some pressing real estate questions and get your perspective on them. Yeah. All right, ultimate goal is for you guys to be able to learn. Please excuse the planes. You can see right underneath the airport. What better place to film a video than right underneath the airport? So with that said, we're gonna ask some real estate questions right now. I put it out to the Instagram verse, Twitter verse, social media verse, and I asked them, what are your most pressing real estate questions? So that way I can ask my boy Austin. All right, so number one, you ready?
Ready.
All right, baby, here we go.
By the way, I have no idea what he's about to ask.
That's all right, that's how we like it. All right, so question number one. I'm a brand new investor, I don't have a lot of money. What real estate strategy should I focus on?
Definitely wholesaling, right? Because wholesaling, you can get involved with little to no money down. Pretty much all you need is maybe some earnest money, but in most cases, even earnest money can be like $100, depending on what state you're in and what kind of deal you're doing. So definitely wholesaling.
Wholesaling's a phenomenal strategy. That's how I got started.
That's how I got started.
That's how he got started. Yeah. It's one of the purest forms of no money down real estate, and you're really not flipping a house. You're flipping a contract that you have to purchase a piece of real estate, but you haven't actually bought the house yet. Now, all right, that leads me into the next question.
Perfect.
What are some good strategies to build a buyer's list in order to do some wholesale deals and get some cash coming in?
Absolutely. So a couple off the top of my head, obviously our networking. Networking is huge. Go to RIA meetings, go around your local area. You can do Bandit signs. Okay, you can put out Bandit signs on the corner. Super cheap, inexpensive method. And you can look up, Cody's got all types of different videos on how exactly to do this, but take my word for it. Bandit signs are amazing. Facebook's another big one, right? You can go on Facebook and go into a lot of the big groups on Facebook and start messaging some of those buyers and asking them if they are a real estate investor, cash buyer.
Yeah, and when you say networking, what we're looking for is landlords and rehabbers that have more money than time, right? They're looking for a good deal. And a lot of times you can also find another wholesaler that is maybe ahead of you in business. They've already built a buyer's list, and what you could do is what's called a co-wholesale deal, where you bring the property, they market it to their cash buyer list, and they bring the buyer to the table, and you guys split the profits.
Boom.
All right, that's a good one.
Love it.
All right, this is a good one.
Okay.
How can I lose money on a deal?
I mean, pretty much you could lose your earnest money. It's about the worst thing in wholesaling that you could probably do. Obviously, that would probably take you just being ignorant to certain things. You know, maybe in the beginning, like you run past your inspection period or something like that. As you kind of do more due diligence in the wholesaling space, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. But to my knowledge, that's one of the biggest ways that you could potentially lose money, maybe up to like $1,000, I would say.
What about in rehabbing?
Rehabbing is much more complicated, but yeah, I mean, you can lose, I mean, if you comp the property wrong, if the market shifts while you're, rehabbing the property, if there's something that you potentially missed, you bought too high, you maybe overspent on the project somehow, a lot of different ways you can lose money remodeling, which is why wholesaling is definitely the way to go in the beginning until you learn, get your feet wet, and meet a lot of people and really, maybe take on some lipstick projects before you go the full-blown remodel.
Yeah, and whether you're wholesaling or rehabbing, you always want to have specialized knowledge so you're not out there winging it. The worst thing that you could do is make a simple mistake that's avoidable that ends up costing you a lot of money, or worse, getting you into legal trouble. All right, and that's why you want to follow good mentors and you want to educate yourself. Take the time. Self-education is really, really smart in the real estate space. Learn the language of real estate, and if you can find somebody like a good mentor, and I'm not talking about some lame phone coach, I'm talking about a real mentor, somebody that is proven themselves to be a top performer, and follow their model, then you're going to be a lot more successful a lot faster, because at the end of the day, like Jim Rohn used to say, is success leaves clues. It's stupid to go out there and wear failure as a badge of honor on your sleeve, like, oh, I'm so glad I've been failing for 2 years. No, screw that. That's stupid. What you should do is try to have as much success as fast as possible, and that's done by following other successful people.
Boom.
All right, next question. You ready?
Yep, let's do it.
You're doing great so far. How can I start raising money? Let's say I want to get into rehabbing. How can I start raising money in order to fund my deals? Because I heard that you should use OPM or other people's money to do real estate deals.
Absolutely. So probably in the beginning, you want to take a more focused approach on wholesaling. If you're brand newbie, you don't know a ton about real estate investing, wholesaling is pretty simple. Like we talked about in the beginning of the video, it's one of those things where you can get involved with little to no money down and little to no risk, if not basically no risk at all or hardly any. So, get your feet wet and get well versed in the industry. That way, when you do go to use other people's money, like Cody said, which by the way is a great idea, it's just in the beginning, if you don't really know what you're doing or what you're saying, obviously, and you go to try to pitch other people to collect their money, it could go wrong. And not only that, you're taking other people's money into your hands when, in all honesty, you probably wouldn't spend your own money on that project, because in all reality, you really don't know what you're doing yet. So definitely get well versed in the industry, and then go out there, by all means, raise other people's money, and go out there and annihilate it.
Yeah, we'll put a video up in the corner right now that will talk about this corner. Is it this corner? That corner right there, that will talk more about raising private money. But one of the biggest tips that I can give you is every time you do a wholesale deal, build a credibility book. Keep track of your wins. That way, when you sit down with a guy like me that has a lot of money, that might potentially lend money to somebody, I would only do that if I like, know, and trust them. I believe wholeheartedly that they are a master at their craft, meaning that they're obsessed over it, they love it, they know everything about the neighborhood, they are an expert at what they do, right? I want to feel that credibility from them, all right? And so build a credibility book along the way and watch that video. All right, next one, ready? Yep. This is a perfect one for you.
Okay.
Do I have to have a real estate license?
I love it. You absolutely do not have to have a real estate license. As a matter of fact, in the beginning, you totally can, and there's nothing wrong with that. So if you're watching this, because I actually recently made a video, a lot of people are misinformed that if you have a license, it can hurt you. So that's not the case. And I have a video on my channel of that, and Cody probably even has one on his channel. But whether you do or don't is totally fine. You can get into wholesaling. You can basically do any avenue in real estate, minus representing a buyer and seller on the traditional side of a transaction, aka what a real estate agent would do. So wholesaling, basically anybody can do it. You might want to look into getting an LLC, but a real estate license is absolutely not necessary.
Yeah, when I first started, I didn't have a real estate license. Then at a certain point, I decided to get my real estate license because of access to information. I don't like feeling like I have to go to Austin, the real estate agent, and be like, can I please have your MLS login? Like, is there any way you could hook me up? Like, obviously, we're boys. He'll give me his MLS login if I need it for like a moment, but that's just because we built years and years and years worth of a relationship. The reality is you go to a real estate agent, ask them for the MLS login, they're probably gonna tell you no, right? Unless they're your cousin or something like that, or your best friend. So in order to eliminate that feeling I had of like walking around with my hand out, I just was like, you know what? I wanna be empowered to be able to move faster. And I'm glad I did get my license, because it gave me a different perspective about how important it is to maintain your integrity and your ethics in this industry. Because there's a lot of bozos out there that are really stupid, that are entitled, that are egotistical, and that only care about money. And when I came through licensing and I met with the other agents and brokers, I got their perspective. And it was really a good thing for me, because now I feel like I'm the best at both. I'm a true master at real estate now. You came at one point and said, should I get my license? I'm like, absolutely. Now he's licensed and a badass investor. And I believe, and this is why you built your course, is that true mastery is when you take the best of the investing world and the best of the traditional space and you marry them together, so that way you can take advantage of every opportunity that comes your way. Sometimes we meet with a homeowner, we say, listen, we want to make you an all-cash offer to buy your house. And that just doesn't work for them. They're not motivated enough, they're not in enough financial pain or housing pain. or they need the money so bad. So what do? We switch it over to, hey, okay, no problem. What if we take a look at what a traditional listing would look like? As long as you can afford to wait, we could do the open houses, we could do the marketing, we can wait however long necessary in order to allow the marketing to bring a traditional buyer to the table. If you can afford to do that, we would love to help you there as well, because we're full service, right? And that's true mastery, when you can work all sides of the equation.
Love it.
All right. What is the best advice you would give to a brand new investor that's just starting out?
You know, probably having a fire-ready aim mentality. That's the first thing that came to my mind. The only thing that I can really say is I see a lot of people that get in this industry and they want to study forever and ever and ever, right? So 2 things. I'm gonna retract what I just said a tiny bit. So have a mentor, okay? Have somebody that can guide you in the right direction, because you're gonna spend money one way or the other, or time, or both, right? Whether it's on the front end of having a mentor and having somebody shorten that learning curve massively, by the way, because they've already made years and years and years of mistakes, or you'll end up paying on the back end because you're gonna make all of those same mistakes. And that's why I partnered up with Cody a long time ago, and I've literally never looked back. Like, it was the best decision of my entire life. And he's just one of the mentors. It could be
Austin cut a big check, all right, in order to get proximity and to learn from the best. And he was really smart to do that, because, I mean, obviously it paid off.
Absolutely.
The guy's winning the game.
And that's a huge deal, right? Like and it took me years and years, by the way, to get to that point. Like, it wasn't an overnight success.
But if you didn't cut the check in order to have the speed, he would have got there eventually, because he's a goal-minded doer, right? He's a winner. He's got the winning mindset. But would he have gotten there faster? Would it have cost him 5, 10, 15 times more because of mistakes in trial and error in the school of hard knocks? That's the most expensive teacher that you could ever have, right? So go on. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in, but like, having a mentor is imperative if you want to get there faster.
Because I'm 23, and like Cody said, I mean, I could have maybe achieved this by 30, but you know, that's a while from now. So definitely have a mentor. And the only other thing I would say is, at some point, take action, right? The world is so full of information, and there's so many courses and so many mentors. And once you find a good mentor, and once you have that knowledge, don't be afraid to just go do it. And don't be afraid to screw a couple of things up here and there. That's what having a mentor is for. I remember so many times I would get off a call and I thought I did great, and Cody's like, you did horrible, right? Cody's like, all right. He's like, you gotta pick the phone back up and make another call and get better. So that's the only thing I would say, is don't be afraid. If I would have never gone out and failed, I would have never been able to pick up the phone and call Cody and been like, hey, here's where I screwed up. And then obviously he would give me his advice and tell me how to not do it again. So that's my advice for a brand new real estate investor.
Killed it. What are your most pressing real estate investing questions? We want to hear your thoughts. Put a comment down below, and as usual, smash that like button. And that's all we have for you in this video. I'm Cody Sparber, the Clever Investor, with my boy
Austin Zabak,
and we'll see you guys on the next video. Take care, comb your hair, and we're out. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Hey, listen, while you're here, why don't you click the tab in the upper right-hand corner and grab my new book, How to Flip Houses with Little to No Money Down. It's a step-by-step guide on how I got wealthy in real estate and how you can too. Hope it helps. Oh, don't forget to watch the 2 videos also.